into the content.
Okay.
And meanwhile, when I thought so, and I was referred with this group, so I thought it's a good opportunity to jump in.
Okay. Great. So where are you located from?
Gandhinagar, Gujarat.
With Gandhinagar, right, right. So that's just yeah, near Ahmedabad. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So we are actually just on the almost the second or third phase. Okay, so we are continuing from what where we left off yesterday, and I believe we had Poonam Didi who had given an introduction, and we are all acquainted with each other. Everybody else is just acquainted with each other. So I'll continue reading now. So yesterday we were talking about Babaji and how he had reached the state of samadhi to look for answers, and now we'll just continue from where we left off. I heard all about Samadhi one day. I had become confident that I had attained it as well. But how would I be able to tell others that this indeed was a state of Samadhi? So I'm just basically reading back from where we left off. I'll just recapturing. How could I ascertain its firmness and what should I consider as its evidence? There was nothing to describe in the state of Samadhi. How could I present its evidence? This curiosity deepened, and to test whether I had attained that state of samadhi, I performed a practice called Sanyam. This advice was given by our ancestors. It is mentioned in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Now, Shalini, I'll need your help again.
धारणा ध्यान समाधि त्रयम् एकत्रत्वात् संयमः.
Okay, thank you. So, these three dharana, dhyana, samadhi, when practiced concerning one object, is Sanyam. So anyone can verify with this reference, and I could not agree with what was written about Sanyam. Hence, I devised my own design of and method of Sanyam and subsequently carried it out. As a result of practicing Sanyam, I started seeing every bit of existence in front of me. Here, seeing means understanding. So here Babaji is saying that he started seeing the way existence was in its original format, and that means that he was seeing it as it is. It was nothing to do with like there was some sort of invented reality that he was doing. He was just rediscovering what is already existing. So I'll continue. I have sequentially and systematically observed all the processes that have taken place in emergence from a single atom to the vast earth. I have achieved a state where I can impart this understanding to you. Along with this, I also saw the Jeevan atom in the sequence of atoms. The Jeevan atom is the same in me, in you, in a newborn person, and even when it is without a body. I realize that Jivan exists both with and without a body. Why does it exist with a body? I will explain that later when the context arises. So he's saying that there are atoms and there are Jivan and they are coexisting. So this is again, it is saying it will get complex as it is required. But for now, we are just introduced to the Jivan, which in coexistence with the body uh, comes to sort of an understanding or learning knowledge. And that's how we have the coexistence of both that takes place for the gain of knowledge. I saw that Jivan wants to evidence itself in the human tradition through the body. That is the only formula here. What does Jivan want to evidence? The answer I found is that Jivan first wants to live and then, along with living, wants to become happy. Along with being happy, it also wants to evidence itself. These are the three stages. The first stage of wanting to live is fulfilled in the animal order itself. The next two stages of wanting happiness and evidencing can be accomplished only in humans and nowhere else. So I'll just take a pause here. This means that when the animal kingdom was there, it was the survival mode that the animals exist on, and that is also fulfilled in the human being. But apart from that, we being having the knowledge or being part of the knowledge order, we also want to be happy and we also want to be evidencing ourselves as a Jeevan. So these two things now are the key differences between us and Jiva Avastha, or basically the animal kingdom in essence. I have seen this very thoroughly. I found this immensely satisfying. After that, in the same vein, I discovered the formula for living with happiness, living in orderliness with resolution. So, to the new viewers, these words might be just ordinary words. Orderliness means maybe you just put something in order and it is orderly, and with resolution means something that is a better than a solution. We call it a resolution, and something that takes time, maybe you call it a resolution or a reformation, but these words are very deep in their own meaning. uh, we can ask somebody in the audience, maybe if they would like to share the meaning. I believe orderliness is vyavastha and resolution is samadhan. So we can have some members in the group who would like to add or share.
Bhaiya, I think you have told correctly
हाँ,
that this orderliness is nothing but a kind of arrangement, a proper arrangement, like you said in Hindi, vyavastha,
vyavastha,
and
right.
resolution is
Resolution, samadhan.
samadhan.
Right, right.
But before you proceed further,
Mm.
I want to discuss when there was one line that Jeevan wants to be happy and it wants to evidence.
Right.
Evidence means it wants to show the Jeevan is happy, or something else he want to evidence.
I think what it means here, if I'm giving it at face value, it means that it wants to see itself in essence, or that's what I'm understanding, and that can be experienced to other Jivan who are able to see it also. So that is a crude way of I'm putting it. Maybe somebody on the uh, participants can be corrected. Evidence itself, that's what it says. It wants to evidence itself. तो I think in the Hindi words we would say उसको खुद को प्रमाणित करना है. That's what I'm
Yeah.
understanding.
So basically, the enlightened Jeevan or Jagrit Jeevan has 122 acharan.
Hmm.
And I believe, I'm guessing that it means that it wants to evidence all those 122 acharan
Right,
must be um, must be
right,
reflected in the parampara.
right. So this is
That's
a wonderful way of putting it. Normally, what we see in the animal kingdom is that we have just this, um, they just want to eat, they want to multiply, and they want to have food, and then sleep. So this is the evidencing of the animal. But for us, it is something higher and it is something deeper. So this is evidence through the parampara, and this is what the Jivan wants to do. Yes, B. I think we are getting some clarity.
Yes, Bhaiya, it's a wonderful explanation by Didi.
Right, right. Okay. So I just want to take a moment here and describe what our orderliness means. Because I was taking these classes in cyclicity in nature, it is very clear to me that what this planet is not just a small a ball of water where things just coincidentally happen with chaos theory and all these kind of things that are written about it. But basically, every stage of evolution has come up to the point for the knowledge order to arise. So that means that everything has happened in orderly fashion, in timely fashion, and in sequence. It is still happening. Every other cycle is interdependent on each other, not dependent, but interdependent, interwoven. So all the cycles are happening as we speak. There are some cycles of the air that are going on right now that are renewing the air. The ozone is being renewed. There is rainfall somewhere right now, there is summer somewhere right now, there's winter somewhere right now. So all these cycles are happening, are renewing afresh and keeping the earth alive for Gyan Avastha to keep on. And also all the other Vyavasthas also and Avasthas also to continue on their progression. So this is actually, I believe, the meaning of orderliness. And with resolution or samadhan, we can say is that when we are living in harmony with human, and this is a very like calling of the hour, basically, because what we are seeing with the wars which is going on, if we live with resolution, अगर समाधान से हम रहते एक दूसरे के साथ, so it would be a great, a great endeavor for human beings to approach this darshan and get some light into their way of seeing the world, and actually not resort to the wars every now and then whenever we have something not going according to our plan or our understanding. So I'll just continue now. The insentient world, which we call material order and biological order, exists in solid, liquid, and gaseous states. I realized that there is a combination of a great many rasa and rasayan at the root of numerous formations of biological cells. Where whatever else humans are to do, they will keep doing. I saw that composition of the body is only from combination of these substances. So here is talking about the rasas and the rasayans, and how they are the root at the root functioning of every cell that we are made of, and indeed all the jivavastha and pranavastha also. I saw that the composition of the body is only the combination of these substances. Both animal and human bodies are composed only of physiochemical, physio, physiocochemical. Okay, I think it's a physiocochemical substances. The essential difference I saw between animal and human bodies is that the brain becomes fully enriched only in the human body. So here we are talking about human beings having a brain functionality which is encompassing all of what Jeevan and human body is capable of. So in the animal kingdom, there are some things or some acharans that are basically predefined in the cell level. So for example, I'll give you a bird's nest of a particular species. You will see that they are building the nest in the same way that they had been building for thousands of years. And yet for the human beings, we see that, or we keep on seeing that we keep on building houses of different sizes, of dimensions, of materials, and we keep on being creative with it. We keep on innovating. New technology comes in and we scrap away with all the designs. In fact, one of the things that I remember in my young years when I was into this construction business was that we used to buy one type of colored tiles in the houses that we used to build, and I found that the clients were actually getting bored with it, and I took it upon myself to go with the client to the store where there were tiles, and we used to choose for them, and that also started a new engagement with them. So you can see that the variety of the things that people want is also seen there. That everybody does not want the same things or the same monotonous things, and we are enriched with imagination and with creativity, and we are also spelling that in our daily lives. Okay. Being enriched means the human brain has the capability for Jeevan to evidence itself in a multifaceted way. I have seen this precisely. Yeah, so that's very understandable there. If anybody has any query, you can please unmute yourself and you can talk, because there is no hard and fast way of continuing the book without us understanding in the first place. So please do raise your hand, or you can just directly unmute and we'll take your query or suggestion.
Bhaiya, I have got the answer of my question in this particular line,
Right.
which Didi explained.
Right.
That being enriched means the human brain has the capability for Jeevan to evidence itself in multifaceted way. So
Right.
yes, this is the very correct answer.
Right, buddy. After seeing all of this, it occurred to me that animal kind is in its orderliness, which is explained and clearly defined. So as I said, that animals, they make the nest the same way they were used to making in the thousands of years in the past. But somewhere, or for example, they will eat a predefined food items. They will not go and, carnivores will not go to be herbivores, and herbivores will not go to carnivores, and all this kind of thing. But we can see that human beings, one of the debate is still going on whether we are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, And so this is the thing that the next sentence will spell, I think. Mm, After seeing all of this, it occurred to me that animal kind is its orderliness, which is explained and clearly defined. Similarly, I realized that human too are clearly defined and explained in the form of inherent orderliness, and they could live happily by living in this manner. Along with this, I also found the answers to what exactly is moksha. So it is going to be very interesting because moksha is basically in the old way of living, or the old religious way of thinking, is to abandon everything and to connect with Brahma. So now let's see what exactly moksha means. What is bandhan? Now, this word bandhan means the ties of attachment. One can say that in simply words. So, what is bandhan? In this state, I found the answers to the questions that led me to this endeavor. I found that Jeevan drives a human body in order to evidence itself. So, I would like to pause here and describe to the viewers that most often the Western philosophy is saying that there is the brain and there is the body which is connected to the brain and which is part of the body itself. And so when we are dying, we are actually just disappearing into oblivion, So there's nothing else which is living. But here we are saying that the Jivan is there and the body is there, and the Jivan is driving the body. So in essence, the Jivan is also driving the brain. This is very crucial to understand, and I believe I'm just going to say this because this is going to go on YouTube. So it's very important to mention this. Where places like America, we have people who freeze their brains in cryogenic freezers so that they believe that they will be how do I say it, reincarnated? Not the word, that's not the right word, but put alive, or they will become alive again if they have frozen their brain in a freezer. They are spending so much money. Those people who have a lot of money, they are paying this money that in case if I die, you have the right to take my body with its brain and freeze it in a cryogenic freezer. And then after some thousands of years, or maybe even, whenever the technology is, you can unfreeze me and I will become alive again. So here we can obviously see that that is not going to be possible. The brain is just a structure that stores or processes the inputs, and it is just connected with the Jivan in essence. Yes. Anybody would like some more clarification on that? We can continue then. I found that the Jivan drives a human body in
Right.
order to. Huh.
Sorry for the disturbance.
Yes.
Can you please explain it a little bit more from inherent coexistence, I think.
Is it in the same page on the screen?
Yeah, can you scroll
Yeah,
it a
yeah.
little bit?
Inherent
Yeah,
orderliness.
inherent orderliness it is. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I'll just read it and then I'll try to explain. I
Yeah.
realize that humans too are clearly defined and explained in the form of inherent orderliness, and they could live happily by living in this manner. So here he is comparing the animals that are living in orderliness with nature, as in they are contributing at the same time they're consuming from the nature, and then they are also giving back to the nature. Like for example, an animal will consume the food like plants, or drink water like matter. It is connected with matter and with plants, but then at the same time it will give back to nature and give back to the plant as in the form of fertilizer. So when basically the animal defecates, it will give back to the nature and it will give back to the plants in the form of fertilizer. So in human beings, we are not seeing this because we are seeing things as a resource right now, because we are not exactly at par with what existence is, or we have not fully understood it. We are exploiting the nature instead of being in harmony with nature. We are exploiting nature. So what Babaji is saying here is that if we understand existence the way it has to be understood, and if the way he has seen it, if we see it too, we will be living in inherent orderliness. That means we will be accompanied. Like, for example, I'll give you a simple this.
Vidya, can you please mute?
Yeah.
भैया जी प्रबोध भाई हाँ जी
Okay. Right.
and also make me the co-host please.
Okay. Let me see. So as I was saying, I will just let me just click on this. I shall have to do it from the phone, so it'll be a little bit confusing. Let me see if I can still do it.
No problem. I'll log in from the other login. Just relax. It's okay.
So as I was saying, there is this example I give to the kids, right? What we will see as water is, in simple terms, in science books, even today's books, the biggest grade that we have, the 10th grade or the 12th grade, they will depict water as a means of quenching the thirst, washing the clothes, washing the utensils, growing the plants, and mostly if they are so advanced, it'll go to industrial use of water, and all these kind of things are defined for the water. But when we look at water in its existential point of view, water is the basic need of a human being, and that in the fact it is in every part of our cell. The whole body structure wouldn't be without the water. The veins are flowing with water. More than 70% of our body, in fact 90% of our body is just water, right? 70% of earth is water. So this is the importance that I'm trying to say. The eyes are filled with water. That's how we can see. Those are two bulbs of water that are filled with a pressurized water system inside the eyes. And we can see clearly because of the water that is filled, the liquid that is filled inside. And we are able to talk, we are able to have the skin that we have without any sort of freckles or fragments or dryness, because there are particles of water on top of it. So when we look at it at a holistic or existential point of view, we will see that water is a completely different thing. But we are not seeing it as such. We are seeing it just at the surface level, or we are just seeing it at a cosmetic level. And this is creating the need for making it to be exploited, or may not caring for it, or letting the rivers be turned to poison and into sewage dumping places. So when we realize the importance of water, we will start to respect its nature. When it falls from the sky, we will think of catching it. And when it falls to the ground, we will not let it, just go to the sea, but it will take some catchments areas, and we can create that to go into the water table. So this is the kind of things that once we realize the true nature of all these things, we will be performing those kind of acts which are in alignment with what nature had intended. Apart from now, which is okay, if it rains, the government will start building gateways for the water to go to the sea, channels, in fact, so that the water can just leave the city easily, when water is so precious to us. Okay. I believe, Didi, I've answered a little bit of your query.
Yes, Bhaiya, it's clear now.
Okay, great.
Bhaiya, I would
Thank
like to
you.
add something if
Yeah.
I'm audible.
Sure.
Yeah, I think this inherent orderliness
Hmm.
is a very important concept, and what you very nicely described. So in Hindi, it is called Swasahi
Well, your
Vyavastha,
voice is,
which
I think,
actually.
cutting out now.
Oh, is
Can
my
you hear us?
voice breaking out? Oh.
Your voice is completely cut off.
I think I can add maybe.
हाँ.
Um, ठीक है राकेश भैया, if you're listening, I think I would like to add something too, if it matches, and it's good, if
Yeah.
you're able to hear us.
Hmm.
Otherwise, we are not able to hear you. So
Hmm.
inherent orderliness means,
Bhaiya,
yes,
right, yes. Bhaiya can.
um, like all the other orders, you know, human beings, first of all, they are a separate order altogether, and then they are also inherent, they have inherent orderliness. So every human being, they are in order, or they are happy, or they are balanced in nyaya. in dharma, when they see samadhan all around them, when they are able to live in justice, they're happy, and satya is sahastitva, coexistence. So this is where there is inherent orderliness. All we need to do is understand. Human is also the order of knowledge. Knowledge order ka being hai. We are the being of knowledge order. So
Right.
we understand, we teach, we understand. That's how we are sanskara anushangi. So I think I gave you enough this thing. Now maybe you can build on that.
Yeah.
Or if Rakesh Bhaiya wants to.
Yeah, if Rakesh Bhai, if you are able to add to that, there's a great explanation by Shalini. I think Bhaiya is actually not having a good connection, but
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, I think I'll talk some other time. I think Shalini Didi explained it well.
Hmm.
Am I audible now?
Right now,
Yes, yes.
Okay, so basically, I just wanted to add that orderliness of any entity is inherent to itself instead of being an uh, imposed by from outside. Like
okay.
for example, a neem tree is orderly.
Hmm.
It is for it to be an order, it doesn't require other things. There is something inherent to neem to be an orderliness.
Hmm.
Similarly, the example that you took of water,
Hmm.
water, because what is it that makes it water? It's something called waterness, right?
Hmm.
That basically is inherent to it. So
Hmm.
there is an inherent orderliness in every entity, and
Right.
that actually is what every entity has an inherent orderliness, and they actually participate in the collective orderliness or the overall orderliness. So
Right.
that is the principle that he is seeing, that existence is not having a controller,
Hmm.
but every entity is having an inherent orderliness and
Right.
is a participant in the overall orderliness. So he
Hmm.
is saying that we are seeing this in the physico-chemical world,
Hmm.
and we can see it in the animals, we can see it in the plants, we can see in the material order.
Hmm.
But in humans, we see that we are actually behaving in a erratic manner. So he
Hmm.
says that cause of that is that we are the entities of knowledge order, but
Hmm.
we are living in animal consciousness. So
Hmm.
if we actually recognize our inherent orderliness,
Hmm.
then we can be participant in this whole existence the way it is.
Right.
So that's all from my side.
Great, great. Harmoniously participating in every aspect of living and existing. Great. Rakesh has put it very well. And as Shalini put it, we are orderly when we are having justice within humans. So when we are doing Vyavhar and there is justice in it, we find that we are functioning in orderly fashion. Yes. So I'll just continue now. I might just repeat a sentence or two. As mentioned early, it is to evidence happiness. What is needed to evidence happiness? One needs to become wise. Humans shall evidence orderliness and happiness with understanding, and they will not be able to do it in any other way. So I'll stop again here because every sentence is such a gem here. One needs to become wise. So that is a prerequisite of becoming happy and living in orderliness. So we have to take care of this word, that what is the meaning of becoming wise now? So it means with understanding, they will not be able to do it in any other way. So we have to become wise by understanding. What is this understanding? Or in other words, in Hindi, the word is adhyan. That is the way of becoming orderly. That is the way we become wise. So every now and then we will the audience also will hear a word called adhyan, and adhyan is nothing but the uh, connecting of what you are reading with everyday events and then seeing it in light with what coexistentialism is speaking, or with what knowledge that is of the like seeing it from the highest point of existence. What does existence have as we cannot say it as an agenda, but what is existence for? if we see it from that point of view, we will have the overview of why everything is functioning the way it is. And then we will be aligning our actions or our own thought processes according to it. So there will be no clashes with everything else. So I'll just continue now. While I was doing sadhana, everybody used to say that I live with such great discipline, restraint, and precision. Hordes of people used to come to see me, but I bear witness that my mind had no restraint in the initial stages of sadhana. Until I attained samadhi, I did not have any mental restraint. So this is just basically saying that people thought that he is constraining himself while he was doing the sadhana, but here he's saying that until he attained samadhi, I did not have any mental restraint. I had only one resolve, that I'm here to do sadhana and I'm
Uh,
not anything silly. Yes, sir.
Sorry, yeah, sorry for the disturbance.
Yes.
Restraint regarding what? Restraint regarding, I mean, until he attained samadhi, restraint regarding what?
So this is basically people thinking that he is in restraint. So I'll just read it again. While I was doing sadhana, everybody used to say that I live with such great discipline, restraint, and precision. That means others are looking at him with an eye of okay, वो बहुत tapas कर रहे हैं या ऐसा कुछ, you know. Are you understanding the word tapa?
Yeah, no, I'm getting it. But restraint, as in, while I was doing sadhana, everybody used to say that I live with such great discipline. I got it.
Mm.
Precision, I got it. Restraint regarding what? Restraint regarding food, restraint regarding the way he is living his life, or
Right.
restraint regarding sexual life, or any other thing. I mean,
Yeah, I think he's meaning one all of those. If anybody else in the audience can help me out also, but I think that's what he means because usually what the like the way it is was done before was that you leave the household and you go to the forest or somewhere to do the tapas and to do the sadhana, you know. So he
yeah.
think that there was no such thing that he was feeling himself, although people saw it that he's doing
Mhm.
this
No,
with.
but he did that, right? He went to that bank of the river and he lived there with his wife. So
Mm,
I understand that he was in this what do you call it, parivarik situation only. He was with his wife and with his children. So he had his family with him. I understand that. But then, other than his family, there were
mm,
no people around him. His specifically, except this. Very any extended family as in parents or anybody else was not there with him, right?
right.
So now restraint regarding what? Restraint regarding seeing people, or restraint regarding um
Maybe what I can conclude from that is the restraint from the five sensual pleasures. Maybe that's what it means.
okay.
Yeah, because
Okay, yeah.
that's what is I'm just imagining if he is sitting in one place, what would he be restrained from? So that's what I'm seeing. And
Yeah.
in fact, if I may add in this context,
Mm-hmm.
there was a story of a sage where
Mm-hmm.
he say I heard this from a sage, obviously. So this is the Katha Varta I used to hear it. So to a sage, uh, the night time actually is void of all sorts of inputs. So the night time is best to do sadhana. So I'm linking those two things here. I might be wrong, but basically I'm just trying to say that when the five senses are not activated or they're not disturbed, that's when you can do the sadhana properly. So
Mm-hmm.
just yeah, linking those two things if it makes any.
Okay.
Bhaiya, should I try to say something?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, this question of Shriyanshi, that is earlier question, that
Mm,
is about uh, natural acceptance or inherence,
mm,
and this particular thing are correlated. What
mm,
I think,
mm,
the imagination basically consists of three parts. That is, one is inherence, that is natural acceptance.
mm,
Second is preconditioning, and third is sensations.
mm,
So, uh, when here it is written that I did not have any mental restraint, means my sensations and preconditionings are affecting me. So I am not able to think on my natural acceptance or inherence. So that is the meaning of wavering mind. But once you control your sensation, or you overcome your preconditioning, that is, you are able to understand things, then natural acceptance or inherence, the circle increases, and then you have a particular restraint on your mind. That is what I could understand from UHV where it was explained.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we are leading somewhere, and I believe Poonam Didi had her hand raised. Would you like to share something or ask something?
Yes, Ji Bhaiya, what I wanted to say is that uh, can there be any other reference of restraint in context to limit? Like, can matlab, sometimes, same word can have different interpretations. So,
Hmm.
can the interpretation be like, here restraint is kind of setting a limit?
Hmm. Yeah.
Example, like carnivores animal would only go for uh, meat, they won't cross that limit.
Right. 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 They'll restrain themselves to the yeah. Okay. So
So,
yeah.
can there be
I
some
would
other reference?
also maybe like to add something here. So basically, in every sadhana, there is a certain discipline or and restraint, that clear do's and don'ts that you have,
Hmm.
and a discipline that is basically it says like the yoga vidhi has Ashtang Yoga has the eight stages,
Hmm.
and each stage actually mm, gives the next level of what one is allowed and what is not allowed to make a further progress.
Right.
So that is how basically he is saying that in the stage of his sadhana, people used to come be impressed by his discipline restraint. But
Hmm.
he's saying that he's testifying himself that to his mind, he can say there was no restraint in my mind. My mind was still wavering and in the initial stages of sadhana. And when the state of samadhi actually came, that's where the thought actually ceased. So until the thought is there is always a wavering in there. And in the state of Sanyam that he talks about, the thought actually becomes disciplined in the light of his realization or anubhav. So that is the basic process. The process of sadhana is about disciplining of body and mind. So initially, you discipline your body for doing the sadhana, and then you discipline your breath, then you discipline your mind. So until the point that the thought itself is uh, stops, right? So that is when the thought comes to a cessation. That is where the point of samadhi is.
Right.
So this is what I basically understood, that there is a process of discipline, restraint, and precision that basically is described in our ancient scriptures for
Hmm.
pursuing sadhana.
Great. Yes, but yeah, so I think we got a little bit of more clarity and we can actually see how every stage has its own restraints, and that's what the word means. Basically, एक तरह का वो process को go through करने के लिए you have to do some sort of step by step successions. Okay. So I'll just continue now. Hordes of people used to come to see me, but I bear witness that my mind had no restraint in the initial stages of sadhana. Until I attained samadhi, I did not have any mental restraint. I had only one resolve, that I am here to do sadhana and I am not to do anything silly. But it was not that silly that the silly thoughts didn't arise in my mind at all. On this basis, I can claim that until one attains the state of samadhi, there is no method in existence for not having silly thoughts. Humans natural uh, Humans naturally don't want absurdity or such thoughts, and the one doing sadhana definitely does not want them. I also did not want them, yet they kept coming. This difficulty is faced by all who practice sadhana. As long as the practitioner can tolerate this, they persist with sadhana, and when they cannot, They don't. So that's all I can say in its final analysis. So this is self-explanatory. I think most uh, practitioners of sadhana have also experienced this. We can see them in their life journals also, that they had to go through a lot of their own thoughts. They had to conquer their own thoughts in essence until they had achieved the samadhi. Okay. Now I found the answer to what is bandhan and what is moksha. Bandhan is ignorance or delusion. What is ignorance? To live like animals. How can we consider animal behavior to be evidence for humans? If we assume animal living to be the evidence and model human living according to that, then what would be then that would be a delusion for humans. So let me just pause here. The way the animal lives and the way the human is living, if I can just take a few minutes here, uh, is exactly what is the problem with the world. The animal is territorial, and the animal is fearful, and the animal is not able to communicate its with its own kind. Maybe it has a pack, there is a pack of wolves or a pack of a herd of sheep or cattle like that, but they are not able to achieve the sort of creativity and knowledge that we have. But yet when it comes to living in this earth, we are seeing that we are holding places, we are putting territories on it. We have countries to prove that, we have borderlines to prove that. If you are on this side of the border, you are a particular nationality. If you are on that side of the border, you are the other nationality. And most of the time, if not, we are enemies. Even though we are human beings, we are still enemies based on our nationality. So this is what is saying, that if we are to be assuming to be animals, then how can we be humans? So that is as simple as what the answer to that is, that because we are thinking like that, like animals, like territorial, hoarding the stuff because we are fearful of tomorrow, keeping on producing and producing and consuming, and not knowing that we are actually a part of a vyavastha. That is the animalistic way of living. So I'll continue. Neelam Bhabhi, your hand is raised.
Yes, Bhaiya. I just wanted to ask this line that now I found the answer to what is Bandhan and what is Moksha has come immediately after he attained Samadhi, and how he has given this final analysis.
Right.
So I just want to know, like, in this process, has Babaji ever shared, like, when there are no thoughts, when there was a cessation of thoughts and he was in samadhi, how did this occur to him, that what is bandhan and what is moksha? So, in this process, is Babaji in this anubhav? Uh, is Babaji saying that he has witnessed this, or he is analyzing still uh, to derive this answer, that what is bandhan and what is moksha? So I'm still not able to understand this. So did he get the anubhav, or did he witness all this, or did he analyze this? So if he's analyzing this, then
Hmm.
there is some thought process which is still happening. I mean, I'm still not able to
If
get
my
this.
if my memory serves me well, he used to go into samadhi to look for particular answers to the questions. I think one of the questions that he had in his mind was, if Brahm is Satya, then how can Jagat be Mithya? I think that is the line that he always used to have, that how can something uh, from Brahm be born, which is false now? How can Jagat be false? So, and then he started to go into this sadhanas, and when he has that kind of inclination towards knowing the answer for those questions, I believe that's what he found the answers to be. Because most of the time, the samadhi is just asha, which are ichha to be, to be shant, to be like they don't have any voice after that, after samadhi. But in his mind, he just wanted something above that, or he might be having an understanding of how can this be. Okay, if you are something Satya, if Brahm is Satya, then how can Jagat be Mithya? And he had a couple of other questions that he used to ask his parents. I'm just forgetting offhand, but we had discussed yesterday. So these are the questions he used to take when he was going in his samadhi. That's what I'm understanding. And that's how he got these answers, actually, in fact.
Uh, Hello, Bhaiya. I want to add
Ah,
something to
mm,
what Didi asked.
mm,
I think what she's trying to ask is by the word final analysis.
mm,
So, the use of word final analysis, she's asking, is it is Babaji doing analysis? Because is an analysis means use of thought process, and during when the thoughts have ceased uh, do, in samadhi, so how this analysis would be done? So what I am interpreting is that this is an interpretation or
ah,
understanding of Babaji by
mm,
the when we're seeing that's all I can say in its final analysis is that's
mm.
how I understand in true terms. This is how I my understanding isn't like maybe perhaps this is what it means, not analysis by the literal terms.
Okay.
This is what I wanted to add.
Mm.
Mm.
I am.
Well, still, I have not got my answer, but yes, we can go ahead. I think we
Mm.
can.
Maybe Shalini, if you would like to give some light. Maybe that.
See, there is a slight this thing. See, because the flow is such that he's only talking about samadhi yet, and it sounds here as if he's saying that right after samadhi, he has understood what is bandhan and what is moksha, and bandhan is ignorance or delusion. I think we should read ahead, Janak,
Ah,
and then we'll get the answer automatically. Because after sadhana, not right after samadhi, I think he got the answers. He
mm,
got the answers afterwards. So
mm.
let's read it through.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe I would like to add something here,
Yes.
if I may.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, just to recap, the process that he had gone through was the sadhana actually took him to samadhi, which is the cessation of thoughts, right? But this is not just a cessation of thoughts, it is when the buddhi actually comes to the fore.
Bhaiya, your voice is
It,
cutting. Ah, you can try again.
oh, okay, okay. Then, yeah, maybe what is that you can continue and I
Bhaiya, your voice is not audible. Okay. Mm, okay, yeah. I think, yeah, we can maybe take your words again. But yes, we will keep this in mind that we need to be clarified with this. Let's see if we get the answers clear again ahead. So, yeah. If we assume animal living to be evidence and model human living according to that, then what would be a delusion? What would then that would be a delusion for humans. Traditions compel us to live with ignorance. Its testimony is sex obsessed psychology, consumption obsessed sociology, and profit obsessed economics in the present education. So here, tradition means the way the traditional education system is, which is actually pushing all these agendas that we are seeing, consumption, sociology, profit-based, and in technical terms, what we are seeing is just like living like an animal, and which is present in the education system right now. It is ironic that in the midst of this, people bless their children to become good moral, cultured, joyous, and gentle. It is the it is the correlation here. Sorry, what is the correlation here? What is the correlation between what we teach our children and what we bless them to become? So, in essence, what we are saying here is that we are contradicting our own teachings, and or maybe the education system is contradicting what we are blessing our children to be, and that's what I'm understanding. We are having 5 minutes, so I will just conclude by finishing this paragraph, and then we can have maybe 1 or 2 minutes to close. I found the answers to my second question about national character as well. What did I find? Each unit in existence has inherent orderliness and participates in the overall orderliness. So Bhaiya just said that recently, just now. I found the path for humans to achieve this as well. I discovered the definition of human being. Awakened human beings work and behave. It should be behave, I think. Awakened human beings work and behavior is the embodiment of humaneness. Okay, so a human beings has to be a humane, and that is his embodiment. This is a great sentence, actually. Awakened human beings' work and behavior is the embodiment of humaneness. We are articulate. When we articulate this work and behavior, it is called sociology or constitution. I understand that imparting the understanding of humane conduct is the essence of sociology. In this way, I found answers to both my questions. The Constitution shall provide the code of conduct of humaneness. We can recognize the national character in the form of the Constitution. Further, when we become liberated from delusion, we can live as humans ought to live. This itself is moksha. So, as we started reading the book, Babaji said that let the earth be heaven and the inhabitants be deities. And this is what basically is referred to as moksha. Great, I think, realizations we're having. Let me see if I can finish this paragraph. We don't need to turn into ice, into stone, or stone into water. We don't need to give ritual blessings to anyone or perform any miracles or demonstrate supernatural feats. There are no miracles or supernatural feats in existence. I have seen it precisely. Even today, there are millions of people trapped in in the vicious cycle of curse and grace. So it's a great place to, I think, pause, and we can take a couple of minutes. If any question has arisen, I think it's very self-explanatory. By this, it is true even today, millions of people are still trapped. Even if you're a very qualified doctor or any sort of profession for that matter, but we are still in this whole vortex of vastu or astrology or anything like that. And this is the what he is saying. There is no miracles. There are or supernatural feats in existence. I have seen it precisely. And this is actually a very straight blow towards the people who are into this kind of business. So yeah, anybody wants to add anything? We can just pause here and then we can continue tomorrow. For the members, this link is available in your description. So this book we are reading is actually in the description box in the group, and we are on the 16th page. We'll start from tomorrow, second paragraph and the 16th page.
Maybe Rakesh Bhaiya can try again.
Yeah, bhai.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think wonderfully read, Janantaya. So, so I think we will probably meet in the next time and talk about Babaji's process of Samadhi Sanyam. So, which there is no, I think there is a need to be clear about that so that there is no mysticism or magic associated with it. There is a clear process that he had gone through, and the value of analysis and its placement also needs to be there. So hopefully we'll do that in the coming session.
Great, great, yes. So we are keeping the time on track because there are other groups that are starting on 8 p.m. So I would like to thank all the members and wishing you a good night. We'll meet again tomorrow.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.